There's a well-known saying that you may recognize, and it's that history does not repeat itself, but it often rhymes. And over the next few days, we might very well see history rhyming once again. This week, the 2024 Democratic National Convention starts in Chicago, and numerous observers have pointed out that a sense of violence is in the air. Even House Democrats are being advised by congressional security officials to not book hotel rooms under their real names. What makes so many people nervous about the 2024 DNC convention this week is that there are several events on the national and world scene that echo the notorious 1968 convention, which was also held in Chicago. Few years in American history have been as consequential as 1968, with political assassinations, social upheaval and anti-war protest, and cultural and musical transformation. While many of these changes empowered younger people, they also served to reinforce the generation gap. But if one event summed up the divisions of 1968 the best, it may have been the images of protesters being beaten at the DNC convention. Tens of millions of Americans were outraged at what they saw as a police state, while tens of millions of other Americans wanted law and order. Several of the events of 1968 that led up to the DNC convention that year are being echoed once again in 2024. For example, on March 31st, 1968, then incumbent President Lyndon Johnson declared that he would not seek re-election for another term and withdrew from the 1968 presidential election. On July 21st, 2024, Joe Biden, the incumbent Democratic President of the United States, announced his withdrawal from the 2024 presidential election. Just like the 1968 DNC convention had the Vietnam War dividing the party, the 2024 DNC convention has the Israel War in Gaza dividing the party. The 1968 DNC convention also came just months after two stunning political assassinations shocked the nation: Martin Luther King in April and Robert F. Kennedy in June. In 2024, the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump also rattled the nation, and perhaps even more stunning, the son of the man who was assassinated in 1968 is now running in 2024. And while Americans in 1968 didn't have social media to fan the flames, they were still able to watch the upheaval surrounding the DNC convention unfold in real time each night on television and the evening news. This had come just a few short weeks after Richard Nixon secured the GOP nomination and cast himself as the law and order president who would restore the rule of law in the country. Likewise, the possibly violent protest at the 2024 DNC convention this week will not only be witnessed by the nation and fanned by social media, but will stand in stark contrast to the GOP nominee who cast himself as the law and order president. The turmoil at the 1968 DNC convention, both inside and outside the building, played a large role in helping Richard Nixon get elected with his law and order platform. Americans saw him as the solution to the chaos of the DNC convention. Events in 2024 are eerily similar to how they were in 1968, and once again we see that the man with the law and order platform stands the most to gain.